Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm Dave and today we're going to be talking about something that you really should have in your pack or in your grab bag or something like that. Okay, you really should have a wire saw. Okay, now what we're going to talk about today is the limitations of a wire saw, what it can, what it can't do. We're going to look at a way of improving the way the saw works and maybe stop you getting such tired arms. So if this is something you think you might want to learn about, stick around. All right, thanks for sticking around. So first of all, you'll probably have a wire saw like this and it's going to come in a packet, and very likely, you know, if you're not into prepping and survival and stuff, you're just doing this because one day you might need it, very likely it's going to stay in a bag until you need it. So let's have a look at when you take it out the bag. So we have the saw, which as you can see, it sticks on everything you could possibly want to stick on. Okay, here's the saw. Okay, now if you're going to get one with these twisty ends. Okay, right, the ends of this, they're twisty, so the whole thing can spin. All right, this is because here's the wire saw. What you don't want in the middle of it is a kink. Probably can't see that. You do not want to get a kink, because that's where a weak point will happen. Okay, now it's also not that sharp because I can run my hand down it, my fingers are still okay. So you do understand that, you know, it's not like a chainsaw or something like that. It is just some wire stranded together. But make sure if you get one, it's got these rotary ends in it. That way you can do all this with it, and it'll stay nice bit of wire. Okay, now I could, at the end here, I could remove this ring that comes with it and replace it with a bit of paracord or something like that, just a small loop, which is going to be more comfortable on my fingers. You can change the size to maybe fit what you want to do. However, because you are probably going to work with it straight out the packet, that's what we're going to do as well. So straight out the packet, there we are. About £2 this cost, something like that. Okay, so now let's look at how we're going to use this in the first instance. Okay, so like I said, we're going to improve this, but how you'd be tempted to use this in the first instance. So we're going to do a bit of cutting on this stick here. Okay, I appreciate it's quite small. If you're going to use a wire saw, anything thicker than your wrist, forget it. All right, you're also going to probably want to get the saw like this. Okay, and as you're going backwards and forwards like so, can you see it's working? It's doing really well, but see, it's sticking there now. It's stuck. And this is when it starts to break. You're putting a lot of friction because of this big curve we've got going around the tree. It's a lot of friction. What you want to be doing is something like this, where you can spread your hands out like so. Yeah, I appreciate I'm just doing random cutting because I'm looking at the camera at the same time. Okay, this is more like what you want to do, which is much more efficient on the wire, but it's a bit of a chew on your arms. So can we do something that makes it work in a straight line, but is easy to use? Yes, we can. Okay, so to turn my wire saw into a bow saw, I'm looking for a nice piece of long stick. So not this one, I'm looking at this one here. Okay, what I want is, I'm looking, you see the fork there, that's going to come in handy, and I want to see how long it is. So I need it to be about the same length as my, so that comes down to about there. Okay, so I'm going to cut that off. There's that, there's that. I'm going to cut off just a tiny bit longer down here with my right handies. Okay, so that's the length of my wire saw. Okay, come back to you in a minute. Okay, so I've cut the piece off and it's just a little bit longer than my saw. Now if I was to put this on shall we say, loop it over there, very handy. Then a piece of wood will always bend in a certain way. Now at the moment I don't know which way this is going to bend, so I'm now going to find out. So I'm going to tip the camera down a little bit. Okay, and now so I'm just going to bend, I'm just going to give it some bending. Turn it, camera down a bit more. Okay, see if it'll bend a bit. Right, so I'm discovering that this piece of wood bends this way. Okay, now if I put that end's got one end of the saw on it, and I bring this up to the other end. Okay, so here's my knee. So I've got the way it bends. So I need to get the end just there. Okay, just there. So what I'm going to now, I'm going to cut a small groove in the end in the right place, so I can put it back together again in just a minute. So I've got it provisionally, and you can see actually already before start, got the one end wedged on there. This end, it's just held on there a tiny bit. That's going to come off as soon as I try to do anything. So I'm just going to put a little cut just there. Come back to this in a minute. All right then. So I've made a little tiny cut just in the end there. Okay. Now now obviously you shouldn't go out into the woods or something with just a wire saw. You've got a knife or something as well that you can do this with. So let's see how we're working now. Get my wires all tangled up. So one end's gone on there, like so. I've found the way it bends naturally. So I'm now going to do that bend again. This is the hard part. I'm going to do that bend again. I'm going to pass the end of the thing over there, and hopefully it's going to sit in my little groove. Yes, it does. So now here's what I've got. I've got my stick. One end is attached on there, coming through to there, and I can show you that there. It's just in my little groove, and I only have to go in just enough to make this wire, this metal ring sit flush. There you go. Now then, but if I put that near my microphone, probably can't even hear that, but that's quite tough. So now let's check it out on a branch and see just how well it does. Give me a second. We're going to do a little demonstration on a smaller one because we haven't got all day. Okay, smaller one. Let's go for this one. This one here. Okay, here we go. Okay, and there's the cut. Nice cut. Okay. So just to recap, don't use it on thick branches. This is also something which is temporary. Okay. Don't be using this as your #1 method for sawing wood. You need a proper saw for that. This is something that lives in your bag. If you need it, you have to use it, but you shouldn't be using this for more than enough for your fire at the night time. You're not building anything substantial with one of these. Okay, they're not designed to last that long. Thank you.